This is a compilation of tapes created by the already extinct Bunny Smiles Company. I tried to get as much info as I could about what these tapes are, but all I could find was that they were handed to new employees back in 1974 to 1979, and the rest of them seemed to be recorded by a new facility caretaker in the year 1982. Hopefully I can find more soon. Anthony.
Sorry, I know this is the first time I'm doing this, but I'm gonna give this heads up. I know people just been asking me questions about what's happened lately, but okay, I can make things more clearly understand, but sure. So, Mr. Ritchie, I know you're the worker of the Bonds Burger ever since back in the old years. So what do you know about the event happened in 1972? So, according to 1972, we basically did a documentary about the videotape that we used for interacting with some audience about the Bondsburger lately. So we know the people will go interacting with it, but it seems like it's the first time we're showing people what we can do for our own steps. But it seems very clearly, but yet I can tell. But yet it's not like I'm making things much of a official. And what part of it do you understand about being some worker who is in the restaurant and then it causes a massive incident happen? Well, it depends how much people they came up with their own ideas, but yet Bonds Burger is what's something they remain in the heart. So the worker and a co-worker is basically try to take some informations, but yet every single time when people just go ahead and make some good point across of the respect of the animatronics that we have created. So we know the basically a fact that there are a bunch of the animatronics that we have been created. But it's not like we're building a facility of Finance of Freddy's, but apparently though, according to this, Bonds Burger, it's like similarity to Freddy's Fazbear Pizzeria restaurant. But to me, we added a new type of characters that we can fit for the crew. One of them is a sheep, and the others are basically a human and a clown, and two rabbits. That's what we made designed for them. But yet, we basically did all out of hand. But you know, it just take a while to just create designs for these kind of characters. But yet, I don't know. Seems recall it. So Jack Walton, he on the hand here, he made the bunch of informations going on since his steps of what making and developing. You see, when Jack Walton, basically a young stunned boy, he managed to do all the understandings of what people can really felt. But yet I can tell it should not have been more of a ripoff. But yet Jack Walton basically made a lot of restaurants where he basically trying to make things a little bit clearly. But by the time he decided to create this new restaurant called Bonds Burger, and then it seems like it's very different, but yet it's like it still runs of a different of a character developing support, but yet we created some bunch of videos of how Jack wants to pursue some new workers. I know it seems like it's the first time we've seen a new employees want to work at the same restaurant, but yet we try everything to give understanding to people. But it's not like I'm making things so much with choices. But yet it seems like it's the first time we ever seen people try to give up developments. That's what Bon Burger's about. Showing people what they can do and how they will respect you for their own work benefits. I know it seems like it's a little bit more convenient of a choices, but yet that's what happens. But at least we knows how it feels to be some people who want to work in some biggest melodies of our own mind. So let me give you some heads up here. I'm not gonna say this here, but even though you're some guy who wants to know about this working facility, so let me just head start with the biggest efforts about what people really go up with this choices here. What type of characters do you guys created? Oh, we have Bond, Shaw, and other one. It looks like a pink rabbit, but I don't know. I don't think it's pink. I think it's a purple rabbit. I think it might be Benny or something. We made a little a magician guy and along with a clown guy. But luckily though, the workers like Jack and Felix, they will make a great work in progress of the restaurant. But that wasn't until we had some little major situation of the animatronics, but we decided to shut down the restaurant for reasons. Because apparently though we know it's something wrong. We may never know why because it's just very hard to do some choices, but we may have to do what we can do. So that way we can make sure if it's alright or not. I don't want to give people a little bit of differences of what they can do. I'm not saying this I want to make things more of a choices here, but I'm just know what I can do best for people. Because if it does make things out of hand, they understand why I have to do what's choices to people. So that's what the job community has to do in mind. But I know it's like a biggest promise, but yet I don't even know. It's like I'm taking things a lot of the choices of a hand, but yet it's just like I'm taking things a little bit more convenient, but yet I don't even find it that way. Do you want to know why? It's just hard. It's very hard. You had Jack Walton on hand here. He basically had things to do with his wife, Sophie Walton, I guess, but no, Sophie Walton was not a wife. I think this other woman named Rosemary Walton. Yeah, Rosemary Walton, along with his kids, they always come here to join some biggest efforts to themselves. I mean, I'm glad I introduced them too. Nice children. I pretty appreciate them. But if I'm being completely honest though, this might be the first time that we're facing with a biggest deal with our lives. Sophie on hand here, we basically take things up with very more choices here, but yet I can really tell if Sophie has got things covered. I know it seems like it's a little bit difficult right now, but you know, sometimes it's just very hard to understand. So a quick reminder though, what was on that tape anyways? That was basically for the a little bit of a commercial, or is it some sort of a techno support? First, it was basically a techno support, but if I can play it on to you, I will show you how it works. Go ahead. Well, this might be a little bit difficult, but yet, I'll show you how it happens.
Hi, and welcome to the introductory tape to your new job at Bunny Smiles Incorporated. You have applied to a job in technical support and maintenance. What does this job particularly mean? It means that you, amongst other employees, are the one who will take care of creating a magical and fun experience for Bond's Burgers.
Hip hooray, the sun has got it at all. Hip, 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 hooray, the sun has got it at all, and he's coming out today. The hunger brothers have a money coming out today.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the wiry tail. How much is that dog in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the wiry tail. How much is that dog in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale. Old MacDonald had a farm.
These are the showstoppers. Bon, Shaw, Boozoo and Banny, a computer-animated band made by BSI to entertain children. As a technician, you'll be given the role of a facility caretaker. Around this fun and magical journey we'll work on certain tasks, such as cleaning protocols,
robot maintenance and repair,
and learning how to use BSI technology. But first, here's a message from Jack Walton and Felix Kranken, our beloved founder. Which reads, in BSI, the most important thing to us isn't the money or the rating. The most important thing to us is that you have a wonderful experience while working with us. That being said, with the Bon's Burgers restaurant getting opened in a few weeks, we're looking forward to achieving this dream with you.
Yeah, about the tape here, it showed me some unpleasant thing that you ever created. Like how? Well, the first time of all, you basically create a animatronic just like how you preferred of the pizzeria over there, Finance at Freddy's, right? Well, back then, do you know how hard it is to make an animatronics back in like this year's like 70s? Well, in the 70s, we never created animatronics until now. Because creating animatronics takes a lot of pressures, and it takes a lot of efforts to make a robot that looks like a shape of a character that you wanted to be impressed with. Or inspired. That is one thing. I mean, it may have stung a bit, but that's the only reason. I mean, I'm not saying that I want to make you under the circumstances of what the whole point is about. No, I get it, but, a little bit of a recap here. What? Why does people always have to be tracing up with some of the biggest deals or whatever it takes of trying to make things understand? Does that seem like a little bit of a hard choices that people are trying to make things understand? I don't know. It's people's opinion these days. I mean, if I'm being honest with though, Jack, Rosemary, and Sophie and I, we tried to make things understand of it. I mean, there's also another guy named Jack though, but he on hand here, oh wait, I already said Jack. Well, apparently though, Jason and I, we basically tried to get things up with our own communications, but yet it seems got out of hand. But you know why? Bon's Burger just seems like it's gonna fall apart. I know that because Jason and I, we just discovered some very hard truth about what the entire Bon's Burger is really about. Because apparently though, the animatronics is going out of control. Because it's like there's some dark ghost that's been possessed into people's... Well, apparently though, when you understand how it feels when you interacting with some of a game developing, how much the entire plot line, but yet it seems like it's just that. I'm not saying that this is very convenient, but it's just choices. What choices do you think that Jack made? Well, I don't know. He made a restaurant, and then he was basically trying to do things well, and then it closed down because apparently we had to do some of a removal of support, and it's like a very more of a choices, but yet I can tell that there are a lot of people who just go ahead and find some secrets about it. I know it seems like it's very hard to make of choices of it, but yet it's just what it is. Hmm. You are something, Mr. Ricci. I know you find out the truth, but the fact is, you have everything in your heart of the Bonsberger. If you find out about this, then how do you think people believed? No, I don't think people believed anything that's more out of the ordinary about humanity. I mean, creating the animatronics is causing massive situations to people. I'm not saying that I don't even know, because apparently, though, it's untold profits about people understandings, but yet, I don't really think people just go ahead and make things with choices. If we're going to create a restaurant with animatronics, then you know how it feels to be with something that's out of the usual. I know it's just hard to make of convenient about it, but we basically did make some very hard choices that's making so much of a mind of it. You know, I'm not saying it's just something that I ever came up, but it's just something that I don't even recall it. But you know, it's like thunder of the a step by step, but yet it's just very hard to the choices of it. You know, I'm not saying it's just something that I even came up with, but you know, it is hard to make some people understand. Do you know why? Because I see it every single day. When people walking around and they're just seeing animatronics, I'm not sure if people get scared, but they just know whether they feel. It's not only that, Jack and Felix, they basically came with some design and materials about the animatronics, but apparently though they just found something a little bit more unnecessary whenever they came to making these animatronics. But since Jack's disappearance, everything has been falling apart. No one knows why he disappeared, but maybe it's because of something else. Well, if I'm being honest with you, I think there might be some reasons why Jack has suddenly been disappeared for out of nowhere. I know that because apparently though it's a little hard to tell. Not only that, there's some workers who've been died and then we never know what happened to them. Apparently though, like some workers have been disappeared. Like they don't ever know where they've been. That's what startled me. That's what startled for all of us. Because why? People are disappearing. And no one knows why. And who is responsible for this. It's like there's some mysterious force that has dragging them out of the nowhere. Do you want to know how that feels? It's just something. I mean, it's not like you go out at night, you just want to go back to the restaurant to find out some clues, but I know that because apparently people just seen it and what they saw is just unlikely to tell. So what happened? So that's what happens? Yeah. Well, it's long story short, but I understand it because people just don't go ahead and telling people what they saw. It's just hard to explain. You want to know why? Because I felt it. I felt it when one of the workers disappeared inside of that restaurant, and I never know what happened to him. He said he was like running, and then he got killed. Who got killed? I don't know. Probably one of the animatronics. It might be something. Or, if it really is animatronics, then how did animatronics come alive and decided to kill people like that? No clue. That is something for the animatronics these days. It's a little mystery, but at least I can understand it. I mean, I'm being serious. I just need to know why. And how is it done?
It's a brand new day in Little Bond's neighborhood, and a really special one for sure. Little Bond has been waiting all day for his friends to arrive. He is planning to have a sleepover with them. He has everything set up for the perfect movie night with his friends. For this sleepover, he invited Shah, Boozoo, and Billy. Let's check again in case we don't forget any guests. Bond invited Shah, Bozu, and oh, that must be them. Now that everyone has arrived, I suppose it's time for the movie night to begin. Bond spent all his money on a really funny movie, which he hopes all of his friends will enjoy and will laugh with Little Bond. And friends watched the movie. I guess we can say they had a blast of a time.
Once the night dropped, they all ate.
So, this is the brand new caretaker for the old Bunny Smiles facility. I'm recording this because the company requires some type of archives for the work history, something like that. I honestly have no clue because I started working here. Actually, I'm going there right now. But they gave me this weird location. Somewhere in a forest, I think, to work at. And I've been driving for 20 minutes, and I can't find the place. I made it to the location, I think. This has gotta be it. Anyways, so, Chris told me this place hasn't been working since about 78, 79, somewhere around then, and that was 4 years ago, I think. So, chances are, it's gonna smell horrendous.
Reworking project.
just check the left arm. Yeah, the left arm. The left arm.
What was that thing?